Hi there, my name is Ronnie, and we're going to learn today about something very important. We've all done this. We've all been this. Maybe some of you have had this. We're going to talk today about the beginning of the life cycle, which is birth. I've done a lesson before that you can see on InVid about death and marriage, so completing the life cycle. Today we're going to do birth. So, the first one is for women only, unless you have had a sex change operation and are able to have children, mostly for women nowadays. Pregnant. Pregnant means you actually have a baby growing inside of you. Not in your stomach, it's not delivered from the stork. Just in case you didn't know that. We say pregnant. Does anyone know what verb we have to use when we talk about pregnancy? Anyone? The verb is the lovely to be verb. If you're talking about yourself, you're going to say, I am pregnant. She, mostly usually only she, is pregnant. If there's more than 2 pregnant ladies in a room, we can say they are pregnant. And if it's you and another pregnant lady, we can use we are pregnant. That's the first verb we need. The second one is when we talk about children, okay? A child is singular. The plural form of a child is children. When you want to talk about a time in the past, you can say when I was a child, okay? If you're talking with more than 2 people, you can say when we were children. This is singular and this is plural. Okay? If you have 2 babies or 2 people, you can say I have 2 children. 1, I have a child. Okay? Next one. When you talk about where you were born, so where you actually came out of your mom, if you will, you have to use this phrase. I was born in, and then the place name. Where were you born? I was born in Canada. How about you? Where were you born? When we want to talk about your mothers or your fathers, how they helped you develop into the lovely people that you are, we have to use certain verbs. So you can say, I was raised, for example, by my grandmother. If you say this, I was raised by my grandmother, that means that your grandmother took care of you when you were a child. You can say, I was raised by my mother and father. I was raised by my aunt. So whoever took care of you when you were a child, you're going to put them there. The next one is the same word as raised is I was brought up. Brought is the past of bring, but you can say I was brought up in, for example, Toronto. That means that the place where I lived when I was a child was the city of Toronto. I can also say that I was brought up by a person. I can say I was brought up, again, by my mom. So you have two options there. The first one, it can be the place you were brought up, and the second one is the person who raised you or brought you up. All right, if you want, please go to ingvid.com and you can have a quiz and see your knowledge of birth and giving birth and having children. Bye-bye. I've forgotten the most important thing. Bad teacher. The most common mistake that I hear my students say is this. I grew in Japan. When you say this to an English speaker, we will giggle at you. Because we grow, which is the present form of grew, we use only for plants and maybe experiments in a lab. But I don't think most of you are experiments from a lab or plants. Is anyone a plant out there? No. So, we never say I grew in Japan. You can say I grew up in Japan, or as I said before, I was raised in Japan, but you are never grown, okay? People, not grown. Plants are grown. That's it for now. Bye-bye.